A warm welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining today's uh, webinar or the demo session for AWS Data Engineering with Snowflake. So we wanted to introduce ourselves first. We are from Academy of Data. So we are a premier training institute on data side of things, on data software data trainings, especially on data engineering and data science and DevOps as well. So these are the areas that we operate upon, and we have operations based out of Bangalore and Hyderabad. So let me actually talk about the instructors. So we have two instructors for this course, and we have an excellent instructor, Sahar sir. So he's the main trainer for this course. So he's the one who is expert on AWS, SQL, Python, Snowflake, AWS Glue, Redshift. You name anything on AWS and Snowflake, he's the best person. So Sahar sir, please introduce yourself and then we start.
Hey everybody, very good morning, and thank you very much for taking time out and joining this particular meeting and hearing us out on a Sunday morning. I know everybody has a family and it's very difficult to make time on a Sunday morning, and thank you again. So who am I? I'm one of the instructors for this particular course. I have close to 15 years of experience, all in data. I have been working with Snowflake and AWS for almost 7 to 8 years right now. Yeah. And yeah, that's me. So looking forward to have you onboarded. And I can promise that we are going to have a very, very engaging 3.5 months to 4 months. That's the typical duration of the course. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you, sir. Any questions from the participants? Yeah.
I think there was a question. Somebody said hello.
Yes. All right. So I think we'll take the questions after some time. Since it's a recorded demo, we'll just continue with the details, and then maybe we'll open this for the questions. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. And my name is Kumar, and I'm the data engineering trainer from Academy of Data. So I also train on Azure, AWS, and then Databricks, and recently, working mostly on the AWS side of stuff. So I also have 13 plus years of experience in the IT industry, especially as a data architect, and I designed some of the best enterprise data architecture solutions in the market, especially on the Hadoop and Lakehouse solutions. Okay, and I'm also a certified cloud and data engineering trainer as well, both from AWS and Databricks as well. So I'm going to help you through your learning journey on data engineering. So this is all about me, and let me take it to the next slide. So in this course, what we are focusing upon, right? So the technology stack that we're going to work upon at a high level is mostly on the AWS cloud. So cloud is very important, and in a few minutes you'll be getting into a demo where Sahasar is going to demonstrate, what are the things that you're going to do it as part of the course. But let me take it to a high level. We are actually working on AWS cloud on EMR, Glue, Redshift, so all the services that are relevant for AWS, and you'll also work on the SQL basics, and you also work on the Python basics, and you work on the Snowflake. Now, this is the best stack. If you talk about you don't know anything about the data engineering things or anything on data, so you are doing it for the first time. That's okay. You are from a non-IT person, and even if you are doing it you did not hear about certain terms like Snowflake, and or you never have worked upon Python, it's still okay. So our programs are comprehensive. So when you say comprehensive programs, so we go from the basic to the advanced layers. So that's the best thing about our program. And anybody who is actually joining, even from a non-IT background, we have seen very good results. So there are some candidates, came from the banking side, who came from the business side, right? And they're able to successfully take this kind of training and able to get a job. So these are all job-oriented courses what you're offering. And now I wanted to give some details of what a role of a data engineer in the first place, because we're talking about data engineering in the first place, right? So the role that, where you're getting trained is on data engineer. So you'll be having a designation of data engineer, okay? Now you may be hearing software engineer, you have seen software developer. Now what exactly the data engineer is all about is what we wanted to talk to you today, to introduce certain details. But as part of the craze, you will be able to implement a lot of things that, we're talking here. So you're going to design, build, and maintain the data lakes and data warehouse. Now, it is very important that the statistics that comes out of our union budget, right? When Nirmala Sitharaman, our union minister, so when she was actually giving all the details of the stats of how the country is performing and all the metrics and all. So the simple thing is that stats are generally coming from the data warehouse and data lakes that are actually built by companies like TCS and all using the tech stack of what you are talking about, like like Snowflake with AWS. So really, we are actually already using AWS. In fact, there are a lot of information which are actually coming into the data warehouse and data lakes, which are the basis for giving the details of how the country is performing. I'm just talking about government sector, but in private sector, every company is going to embrace this data warehouse or data lakes technologies, and then get the best data insights and plan for the future of the business cycles. Okay, so you'll be able to build a data lake and data warehouse once you actually take up these courses. And as a data engineer, you will be doing this task. And you're going to perform the extraction, the transformation, and loading stages. So data can be anywhere, and then you can actually transform it for the rules. So one of the simplest example, what I can think is, so recently in Telangana, you can actually see, the state had the name board of the state for all the vehicles has changed. Now, how do you transform it at a scale of millions of vehicles? Now we actually help on that transformations. Okay, so it's easy here. I mean, any data engineer can actually do those kind of tasks. And as a data engineer, we are going to help you in that process. And then we'll be storing the data into a data warehouse again. Now the question would be, what is a data warehouse and data lake? We are going to help you for sure in the future once you take up the classes on what exactly they are and how can you define your own data warehouse. And as a data engineer, you'll be working on these areas of ETL and data warehouses. And you'll be providing the access to reporting and machine learning users. You'll be closely working with the data science teams as well. And you'll be also working on the reports that can be extracted out of the data that we are loading. Okay. Now we will also talk about visualizations that are required for the business presentations. And these are generally helpful for business stations. And you'll be working on all the workloads on cloud infrastructure like Azure, AWS, and GCP. Even though we chose AWS here, but we make sure that you understand cloud, you work on AWS with us, you can actually easily learn Azure and GCP. Very much the reason is there are equivalent services, and we sometimes we bring in the equivalents that are part of it. And as a data engineer, right, so you need to make sure that the cloud infrastructure is well understood and you plan the data pipelines according to it. Okay. Now we'll be collaborating with a lot of users as a data engineer, the business analyst and ML stakeholders, and you will design the data architecture. And role of data engineer is increasingly important in the growth market today, right? So the stock market is increasing heavily, right? So you need to always do the data analysis. And again, in every organization is getting a lot of data, right? Insights, thanks to the social media and all, right? So you need to understand what the data is and outcomes has to be given to the management, and data engineer role is very critical. I wanted to talk about which is the fastest growth role in IT roles right now is it's not even data scientist or it's not even the cloud architects, it's just the data engineer. So this is the stats which I can actually tell you. The role of data engineer is 50%. So this is the most underrated designation that you actually see, which is having high potentials. So we have seen people, even though we see the iteration factors and all in the last 2 years, but we never had that problem. Thanks to the growth of data engineers are required everywhere, and the upskill of engineers into data engineer roles are really needed. And every company requires data engineer, thanks to the chat GPT kind of systems that are evolving as well. I also wanted to bring to a stats. It's very important that you also get to know what are the median salaries of a data engineer. So if you see the median salaries of any data engineer, it is generally highest in the industry, if you compare with any other roles. Now, but again, if you talk about 0 to 3 years, it all depends on the companies. But if I see about 3 to 6 years, right? So the easiest thing, again, the stats that we are seeing is for the last 2 years before. Now, the current years, it was actually changed a lot, and it's an average. It's not the highest. If you make the highest, it's way beyond it. And I have seen, sky is the limit for the people, who really does well with the rise stack. There are a lot of companies which are startups, which does not actually think of, paying you higher if your skill set is higher. Okay, so the average salaries of 3 to 6 years, we have seen it at 7 to 8 lakhs, which is the highest of all the training courses what we have. So data engineering is the highest paid training so far in the market. So this is all about what you can actually see. Now, let me also make sure that I also wanted to talk about the placements that I wanted to introduce you. So we have types with 3 companies with respect to the placements for this course who are looking for certified Snowflake developer. So TestPerform, Zclap, and Alfred Analytics. So these are the 3 companies which are looking for data engineers. These are all data companies. Okay. Now they need a lot of data engineers, and they came to us, and they generally we do have a partnership with them. The people who are trained with us and who are successful, so they generally get a chance to get interviewed into these 3 companies. And again, these 3 companies are the one which we are directly associated with. But again, so outside the market is very open. The number of calls that data engineers gets are very, very high. All right. So we wanted to bring to you the benefits of the course before we go for the demo, so that I'll give it to Saha sir. So one of the best benefit of this course is every student will be getting a certificate from Academy of Data for all the students who deliver the project, successful project. And then we are going to guarantee placement to the students that meets the following criteria. If your attendance is 95%, you are doing a successful live project, you have attained the Snowflake certification as per Sahasar's advice, and you're going to get a 100% placement in the 3 companies which we talked. This is already there. But again, we are not telling that you have to join these 3 companies. The market is open. If you get a better high salaries, you can definitely go for it. But if you were talking about getting a job, these are the criteria which it is a success mantra as well. These 3 things. You have a higher attendance, you definitely can actually understand and visualize, what we learned in 3 months, and you can deliver successful project and successful interviews. And 50% of the cost of Snowflake certification will be paid by TestPerform if you join this company. So they're okay to actually pay for you, okay, for the Snowflake certificate. And again, here are the course logistics, which I wanted to also talk to you. And we have an integrated LMS system, and our own mobile app is also there for the students, who wanted to explore, who wanted to be connected. So this is Institute of Data Engineering app. So from Academy of Data. So you can actually connect to us with this. So you can install it on the app, and you'll have 24/7 of support from us for all the questions that you're going to get. And you can actually see here, so all the doubt clarifications, you have always a single point of contact. So Saturday, Sundays, you have 100% SLA. Now on Monday to Friday, yes, so we take some, an hour or so to respond. But again, that's all valid. So on the time of the classes, you have 100% availability for us to be supporting you. And we all have cloud labs. It's all defined in the cloud. So this is one of the best courses with cloud labs. So I'll actually, I'll actually stop here. Maybe let's me go for the demo. I'll stop here. I'll actually hand it over to Saha sir, and we take it from there.
Kumar, can we take some questions at this point of time?
Yes, please.
Take 1 or 2 questions before we dive into the actual course content and everything.
That would be great. Yes. Yeah. Right. So anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. Don't hesitate, even if it's a basic questions. We're very happy to help you out. So it's very important that you get to know us as well. And at the same time, we talked about the course, we gave the details. But you have anything in your mind, you just let us know. So do you have any questions, or Om, you have any questions?
Sir, good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Om. Yeah, please.
Actually, I'm from non-IT background.
Yeah.
I'm doing a government sector job.
Awesome.
Yeah, I want to shift to software. I don't know. I mean, I'm a beginner, actually.
Right.
How can I place within 3 months, 3.5 months? And also, will I place within 4 months?
So this question, I think there are multiple questions in it. So, but I'll go with one by one. Okay. One is your learning. Okay. So you're coming from a non-IT background. Now you're coming into IT. So how do you actually handle it? The one thing is, so our course, in the course, right, we're talking about multiple areas which you have to work upon, right? SQL, Python, right? Now we're talking about different areas in cloud. Now you do practice every day, right? So it should not be difficult because we go with the basics. We give the foundations and we take you to the next level. So the training generally help a lot of people. In fact, this is not the first batch which we have done it. We are doing it for the past 3 years. And the trainings we have seen people from non-IT who are coming in. So what's your background, Om? I mean, which degree you had?
I've completed my BTech in.
Yeah, so you are a BTech holder, so which means I don't consider you as a non-IT in general. So because there are people who are coming from MBA graduates, right? So who are in IT for some small courses and then they wanted to upskill. They have come and they are able to do it and they became successful data engineers, very good packages. So that's all possible for you. If you ask me, is it possible from a non-IT background? I did not work on non-IT, but I had a BTech graduation. Would it work? Yes, perfectly yes. Now
Sir, I
the
have
other
one
question is,
question,
yeah.
sir.
So I'll split in the
There is
question.
Q&A. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll split in
There
the
is
question.
Q&A.
Yes. So one more thing I want to talk to you, before we take any other question is, so we go on a certification model. So for each of the courses, we actually associate one certification. For example, AWS. Now for AWS, you have a practitioner certification, which you can do it, and it definitely will help you out to make sure that you are successful. Now that gives an additional confidence, a booster, so which will not get anywhere. Okay. So that is actually given by AWS itself. Will support you in that kind of process as well. And at the same time, for Snowflake, we have something called Snow Pro certification. And Sahasa is the best one, who can guide you on this. Now you do these two things, as part of while you're doing the learning. And after that, right? So you do the use cases which were actually being asked for. And then you do a project, okay, live project. The confidence levels are generally higher. And that 3.5 months, which you're actually spending, 3.5 to 4 months, sometimes it can extend a bit for the project use cases to be delivered by all. So if you spend this, I'm pretty sure that within 5 or 6 months, you'll be able to get a job.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
And I have also one more doubt, sir. I have got career gap of 12 years, sir.
Right.
That is also one of the major question from me.
That's
There
okay,
is-
Mo. So what you'll
there
do is,
is
yeah, I'll actually help you out, separately on, how we can actually fill those gaps. When you have a career gaps, how to do it, how to validate it. So we have some understanding. So I think I'll have a separate discussion on that because it's based on individuals. So how can we actually solve those problems? We have solutions for these kind of scenarios, how we can do it. So I'll help you out, okay, on this separately.
Okay, sir.
Just to add to what Kumar said, it's definitely possible. However, the amount of effort that you will have to put in will be definitely a little on the higher side because you are completely new to the world of IT, the world of programming. So we can achieve it together. Yes, we'll have to take baby steps at a time. And yeah, so 3 to 4 months may not be feasible, but if you ask me truly, maybe by the end of the 5th month of the 6th month, if you are diligently following the advices that from the academy, you will be getting all the hands-on sessions, all the live sessions, whatever the assignments that we provide, I'm sure because people have done it in the past. You are not the first one to ask this question or go through that journey. There were successful candidates who have gone through this journey. Yeah?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Fine.
Thank you. So with that, I'm sure others are also having some questions, but let me go ahead and share my screen and tell you what are we going to do for the 3.5 months to 4 months that we have planned. And then we can, maybe take some more questions. Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen at this point of time. Okay. So let me go ahead and present. So you guys would have already heard that this is going to be a course with a focus on AWS and Snowflake, right? So Snowflake is actually means we are going to cover almost 75% of the course in learning Snowflake because that is where we make the most of the emphasis and that is where most of the job opportunities are. Today, if you ask me, the 3 talent partners which Kumar was talking about, they are only looking for Snowflake graduates. However, you need to know AWS as well. Why? I will disclose that in a minute. Yeah, because AWS is something on which Snowflake is it's like, it's a layers. AWS brings in the infra and Snowflake brings in the software part of it. So Snowflake is on AWS, so you need to know not everything in AWS, however, a good amount of AWS as well. And we are going to go step by step. Okay, so here are some of the prerequisites. Basic understanding of database architectures, basic understanding of cloud computing, introduction to Python programming, introduction to SQL. Now, if you have these background, it becomes really simple for you. However, if you are not having this background, I've mentioned good to have, right? Because we are having crash courses, which we will go through in the beginning of the sessions. Maybe for the first 4 or 5 classes, we're going to, or maybe more than that, maybe for the first 1 month, it depends on the maturity of the group. We're going to take small steps together, and we're going to go through all these fundamentals. We are going to review each and every topic under these umbrellas, and then we are going to start with our AWS and Snowflake journey. So what's AWS? I'm sure people who are attending this call at least would have heard about AWS. So it's one of the CSPs. When I say CSP, it's the cloud service provider. Along with AWS, we have Azure and Google as well. However, we have chosen AWS because the number of requests that we get from our talent partners are more on AWS, right? That's AWS in the cloud world. It covers almost near about 65% to 70% of the market share. Hence, we have chosen AWS. Now, learning one cloud service, which is AWS, is going to make life easy if you want to move to Azure tomorrow. So ideally, in a time period of 3 to 4 years, while you work in the industry, it is expected that you should know both AWS and Azure. But you have to start somewhere, right? So let AWS be your starting point, and most of the services among these service and cloud service providers, they are on similar terms. So if you know one, if you master one, learning the others becomes very, very simple. So on the left-hand side, on my mouse over, there's Amazon Aurora, Amazon RDS, DynamoDB, DocumentDB, Elastic Cache, Redshift. So these are all the data services which are provided in AWS. Are we going to learn all of them? No. We're going to learn Amazon RDS and we are going to learn Redshift. The reason we have chosen these two, again, these are the two very, very fundamental data services which are required for you to crack an interview and at the same time learn Snowflake. So we will learn Amazon RDS, we will learn lot of Redshift. We will have to learn a lot of Redshift because that's going to set the foundation stone before we dive onto Snowflake. Okay? We're going to learn EMR because that's where the Hadoop programming, that's where the big data compute is on Amazon. So we are going to learn EMR, and at the same time, along with EMR, we're going to learn Lambda, which is a serverless service in Amazon. We're going to learn Glue, and we're going to learn Glue Catalog. On the right-hand side, you can see QuickSight. QuickSight is something which is a reporting tool in Amazon. Yes, we are going to look at QuickSight very briefly as well, because I want you to, when you walk out of the course, I want all of you to have a fair understanding of what all the Amazon data services you want to learn and which are required by the industry today for you as an introductory level, or it's like, you know, at the base level of the IT workforce, right? When you get into the IT workforce, it is expected that you will know these data services in Amazon, and we are going to cover exactly those. Okay. Moving on. So now just learning the services doesn't, make you a champion data engineer. You will have to create, you should be able to create a storyline out of it. So that's how it starts, right? So you will be learning databases, you will be learning non-relational databases as well, relational databases and non-relational databases. You will be having an introduction to ML. So this course is not focused on ML. However, toward the ends of the course, we have upgraded the course and we are adding a little bit of ML touch to it, because when you get into the industry, you should be aware of what is machine learning, what is AI. You may not be a champion, but that doesn't mean you will not be able to participate in any conversation. So the course focuses on making you ready, or making you conversation ready, not a work ready on ML learning, but you should be conversation ready. You should be able to converse smartly with your counterparts in the organization. Data warehousing, yes, we are going to rip open data warehousing. We're going to learn what are facts, what are dimensions, what are the different type of facts, different type of dimensions, what is data warehousing and everything. Log analytics, again, we are going to learn the basics of log analytics. We are not going to be log analytics champion, but still we're going to look at what log analytics is all about. And big data processing. This is very, very important, and we're going to learn big data processing not only with Amazon EMR, Glue, and Lambda. We're going to also learn big data processing with Snowflake. And all these are around a data lake. So we will see what a data lake is, how to build a data lake, and we are having multiple hands-on labs around that. Moving on. Snowflake. Now, this is something which is a great platform today, and this is something which all the recruiters are looking for. If you are a Snowflake developer, if you have the Snowpro core certification in your pocket, we can guarantee that you will get a job. And if you remember the salary bracket that Kumar was talking about, it is definitely going to be in the 5 to 6 lakhs package if you are getting that certificate, because that certificate till date holds a lot of value and it's going to be valid for 3 years, right? That's one of the basic certificate. And if you as a candidate is having the right potential, from the academy, we can also help you achieve or successfully complete the higher, the higher grade of certifications, which are like the Snowflake Advanced Architect. Now, what is Snowflake? So Snowflake is a platform which can be hosted on any of the cloud service provider. You have GCP, you have AWS, and you have Azure. For our course, we are going to focus on Azure, AWS, because 70% of Snowflake installations or Snowflake services are based out of Azure, are based out of AWS, and that is where most of the recruiters are looking for people. Right. So what is Snowflake? Snowflake is a platform. And the beauty of the platform is you have the data, you have the compute, and you have the, the intelligent layer of Snowflake, which consists of all the metadata management. These are all separated. So we are going to dive in, understand how data is organized in Snowflake. We're going to dive in and see what are the different types of computes we can use in Snowflake, and the metadata management, which is very, very important. So optimization, management of transactions, security and governance, metadata, data sharing. So data sharing is one of my favorite topics, and we generally have a very, very lively lab session wherein I'm going to share data with you. You are going to share with me, and we're going to play together. Okay. Now, before I get into how to use Snowflake, this is a sorry, this is a very traditional data architecture, which any of you who are involved in the data world might have already seen. So you have your data integration tools like Informatica, Talent, and let's say Fivetran, Medallion. Then you build your data transformation, which are in ETL, Spark, or data lakes. You create your normalization or aggregation layer in your data warehouses, data marts, maybe some backups. Data analytics, finally you build, so it's a left to right architecture. Data comes in from your left hand side, and finally you move to you build your analytics and deliver it to your consumers on the right hand side. So there are multiple tools involved in a traditional data architecture. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a traditional data architecture like this, and we're going to transform it in Snowflake, right? Because today, Snowflake is an end-to-end data platform, and the organizations are looking forward to engineers who can build a platform like this, which has multiple tools and technologies all inside of Snowflake. And that is where the beauty of it, and that is where your specialization will be. So you will be learning how to build data warehouses, data lakes, do all your data engineering in Snowflake, do data exchanges in Snowflake, build applications in Snowflake, and definitely how the data science world looks like in Snowflake. You are not going to master in that. We are going to give you a very brief introductory class. Maybe for two classes, we are going to focus on ML on Snowflake, so that once you get into the interview room, you are very confident that I know everything that happens in Snowflake. I may not be mastering everything, but at least I'm aware of all the features that Snowflake offers as a platform, right? One platform for everything. You don't have to move your data. You do your data engineering, data warehouses, data lakes, applications, exchanges, and data science all in Snowflake. That's what Snowflake is selling in the market, and that is what we're going to learn. And we are going to and the certification is also focusing on all these 6 workloads. We call them 6 workloads in Snowflake. The certification focuses on all of them. From the academy, you're going to get 100% assistance to clear the certification. We're going to go step by step. Every module, we are going to rip it open. We're going to learn all the concepts, simplify it for you. We're going to do sample, question answer sessions, and ensure that you are very comfortable once you decide that you are ready for the certification, right? So that's what our aim is. Now, how are you going to learn Snowflake? We're going to learn Snowflake with Snowflake Editor, which is Snowsight. We're going to learn Snowflake with Jupyter Notebooks, because today Jupyter Notebook, it is expected that once you walk into an industry, you should know how to play around with Jupyter Notebooks, right? And at the same time, we're going to look at how to play around with VS Code, which is an open source editor. You don't have to pay it, you just download it and you start working on it. These are the three very, very important or must have skills before you walk into the industry or any other interviews today, right? We're going to learn Snowpark API. We're going to learn a little bit of container services. Now, I know these are very advanced topics in Snowflake, but when you say you are a Snowflake developer, you may not be a master of everything in Snowflake, because Snowflake is vast, right? You cannot master everything. However, you should have elementary knowledge of each and every services. Like you should know Snowpark, you should know how to play around with virtual warehouses, you should know what is an ML API. Now, we're going to focus on Python for this course, because Python is the most sought after language and the most easy to learn language. So for those of you who do not know Python, if you are coming into the batch, I can rest assured, maybe by the end of the second class of the Python module, you will start writing Python code for yourself, right? Because it's a very easy to learn language. There are a lot of interesting content available from the academy as well as on the internet, and we are going to guide you all through that. Right. Now, just for those of you who are curious on how we are, engaging this course, we have a quick end-to-end demo, which we're going to play it for you. It's not live, it's recorded. So we are going to ingest some files in AWS. So what is S3? What is this yellow box? It's just an S3. It's a bucket. You can assume that it's for those of you who do not know what S3 is, it's just a bucket to hold certain files in AWS. You can upload files manually to that AWS location. And then you have to create an integration with your Snowflake, because AWS is one platform. Snowflake is another platform on AWS. However, there has to be a bridge created between these two services, right? So you have Amazon services and you have S3 services, and that is where this integration comes into the picture. We are going to create SQS event notifications, and we are going to create a Snowpipe. And finally, the data will come into Snowflake. Now, you don't have to understand all these things if you're new. However, it's just a demo class, and we're going to, once you come into the classroom, we're going to open each and every box, and we're going to learn the nitty-gritties of everything. And finally, once the files that you upload in S3, once they come to your Snowflake table, we will be building Streamlit UI. Now, Streamlit is a very, very fantastic analytics tool. You can build a lot of UI components in Streamlit. And I'm telling you, if you go to the data engineering interview and you are saying that you know how to build advanced visualization with Streamlit, you will stand aside. You will stand aside definitely, because that is a very, very sought after skill. And today, the big thing is Streamlit as an open source is there. However, Streamlit is also a first-party citizen to Snowflake. That means you can learn and host everything in Streamlit within Snowflake, and that's what we are going to learn, right? So without, before I get into the course content, I'll play that video for you just for the interested minds. Yeah. So we're going to play it for you, and I'm going to take you through whatever is happening in that particular video, right? Give me a moment. I'm going to enlarge the screen and we're going to play. So at this point of time, we are going to, IAM. So what is IAM? Let me pause the video for a minute. IAM is identity and access management, right? So what is identity and access management? It is all about your username and access validations. Now, you cannot log into AWS without having a username and password. You cannot log into Snowflake without having a username and password. So you need to know how identity and access management is done in AWS. So in the next couple of minutes, the video is going to show you how can you set up an identity and access management and make these two identities shared between Snowflake and AWS. Because when data moves from AWS to Snowflake, they should know that, yes, I am receiving the data from a legitimate source. So it's going to go and create a policy first. There's a policy called snowflake_access. If you go there, you can see it's going to take you to the JSON, and you can see that there are a few policies mentioned out here, like put object, get object. So these are the policies which are going to define your roles and responsibilities within AWS. You are restricted by these AWS policies, right? We're going to see how to build policies, how to use existing policies at all, existing. Now, it is pointing you to the resource ARN. That means it is pointing you to the bucket that we spoke about. This is the bucket where we are going to upload our files. See, I've named the bucket as rs.demo, and then you have a send to Snowflake folder. Let's go to S3. It is going to rs.demo. And there's a folder called send to Snowflake. Now, at this point of time, this is empty. So what we are going to do is we're going to upload certain files manually to that role. Now, policies have been created. Policies have to be attached to a role. And we are creating a Snowflake role at this point of time, which is attached to this policy. Don't worry if this sounds like a little overwhelming or a little overloaded for you. We are going to learn all of it when we actually get into the class. Now, here we are on the Snowflake screen. This is how the Snowflake editor looks like. This is the ID. This is the the ID of the Snowflake, and that is the region, US West Oregon. That is where the Snowflake installation that we are currently using for this demo is hosted. Now, if you see, first thing, we have to create a storage integration. So what is the storage integration? Is nothing but a bridge between Snowflake and AWS. Yeah. And you can see here on line number 21, it says storage integrations is rs.demo sent to Snowflake, right? So that's what the folder and the bucket information is. So we are trying to connect AWS and Snowflake using the role and the locations. This is very important because you have to let Snowflake know where the data is coming from. Right now, we have created the integration, and these are the details of the integration that we just created. Fine, fair enough. Let's move on. What's next? Next is we are going to build a table, a database table. You would have heard about a database table, wherein the files that we are uploading, they actually have to come and sit somewhere. So where are we going to load those files? We're going to create a table, and we are going to load the data in that table. Now, for this purpose, I've taken a sample data, which is a house price data, which is easily available over the internet. You can go ahead and I've taken it from Kaggle. So there are, these are openly available over the internet. Now we're going to create a stage. What is a stage? A stage is an object in Snowflake where you have the pointer to the AWS bucket, right? Because Snowflake also needs to know from where the data is coming. If you go here, you will be able to see that there's a type called CSV, and these are all the properties. Finally, if you scroll down, yes, you see, I'm going to pause the video here. On line number 31, it tells you that you are going to read the data from rs.demo and the send to Snowflake folder. So by now, I am assuming that you have understood that the connectivity between these two layers have already been created, right? The pipe, what is a pipe? Pipe is nothing but a funnel. You push files one end of the funnel, and on the other end of the funnel, it goes into Snowflake. So think about it as a bridge. You have an entry to the bridge, which are multiple files getting installed over there. And on the right-hand side, you have Snowflake. The files are getting loaded over there, right? Fair enough. At this point of time, you can see that the state of the files are all, the state of the pipe is paused. It is not in progress. I'm going to instantiate it. That means I'm going to make it running. Now it is time for us to go and load certain files. What we are going to do, we're going to our bucket, and we are going to upload certain files from our local directory. So I have certain files already uploaded in my machine. So it's a house price data set having some 50 records. We're going to upload it, right? You will see that the files will start getting loaded in Snowflake. You can see that the forwarded file was the file which we just uploaded. It has automatically, it has automatically got triggered that yes, the file has got uploaded and the file has also been loaded. Fair enough. Now, just in the interest of time, I'm going to fast forward a little more because for the next 1 or 2 minutes, I'm in the video, you will see that I'm uploading few more files and how automatically the files are getting ingested onto your Snowflake table. So this is what is going to happen. Now, we'll move on a little faster and I'll show you some of the graphs that we have built. See, on the left-hand side, there's a window called Streamlit. That means you can build Streamlit all within Snowflake, right? So if you go to the housing data predictions, it is going to spin up a Streamlit cluster all within Snowflake, and you can build nice visualization graphs all within Snowflake. You don't have to, you don't have to, go ahead and install Streamlit somewhere else. It is all possible within Snowflake. So that's the beauty of it, right? And we are going to learn all of it because this is what the industry expects. You, as a complete data engineer, as an end-to-end data engineer, it is also expected that you know a little bit of visualizations. And you can see all the code that is written in Streamlit is in Python. So Python is very, very basics. We will teach you Python, but at the same time, it is also expected that you will also be a little more proactive and learn Python if you are not knowing Python fundamentally, right? So that's something very, very basics. We will have to learn Python because Python is everywhere in Snowflake today. Fair enough. I'm going to stop the screen share and I'm going to quickly take you to the this is our course. This is our course, and this is how we have broadly distributed, right? For the first 2 weeks, we're going to do SQL and Python fundamentals. Now, don't worry that I'm new to Python. How am I going to finish it off in 2 weeks? Don't worry, it all depends on the maturity of the crowd. If I have a very, very, a very learned batch in Python and SQL, we generally do it in 2 weeks or maybe less than that. However, I have been through batches where we have very new candidates who are not learned in Snowflake or learned in Python and SQL. We can also extend it to 4 weeks because these are fundamentals. Unless you are comfortable, unless I am comfortable that you know it, I will not move ahead with AWS and Snowflake, right? So once your Python fundamentals are done, we will start learning about AWS. So we are going to learn about storage, IAM, CLIs, EMR. So whatever the whatever the subjects that we discussed in the slides, if you remember, we are going to learn all of it. Finally, at the end of the 10th class or the 10th module, we generally have a end-to-end real-world project all using AWS. Because learning is fine until and unless you put your learning to effect, it is completely waste. So we will have to go through a real-world project implementation. So you will be working on that project for that entire week. I will be your guide in that project, helping you. However, it is strongly suggested that all of you must complete that real-world project. Finally, once I'm comfortable that yes, you guys have successfully completed the AWS module and you are confident, time to learn Snowflake. We're going to get a good understanding about Snowflake features. We are load the data, processing data. We're going to learn about replications, data governance, data security. We're going to learn about Snowpark, which is how Python on Snowflake. How do you use Python on Snowflake? We're going to learn. Finally, we're going to get an introduction to Gen AI and machine learning. This is something which I was talking about. We have to get a little introduction about Gen AI and machine learning because everybody is talking about Gen AI, Copilot, Chat GPTs of the world, right? So it is highly, highly suggested that you also be conversation ready. So there are 2 states of readiness. I generally define it that way. One is readiness to work and readiness to establish a conversation. So you should be conversation ready. And finally, at the end of the course, there's a 2 weeks period wherein we are going to build an end-to-end project involving Snowflake and AWS services. Now, as Kumar sir was saying, you have to complete both these real world projects and the certification. And then I can guarantee that the talent partners are going to be hunting for you. You don't have to look out for them. They will come and hunt you down that, hey, I need candidates who have completed these programs and who are certified, right? So you have to give your 110% for these 3.5 months to 4 months, and we will ensure that you land up in the right place. Okay, that's all from me, and I can open the house for any more questions. There's something on the chat window. Please provide the feedback. Okay, so there's a feedback that Kumar sir has already initiated. So please go ahead and submit the feedback. But at the same time, I would like to take some questions. Any questions for us at this point of time? Sri Hari, Tejesh, Chandrasekhar, Bhuvan, Sujit, Uday, Srinivas, Deepak. Any questions? Anything that you want me to emphasize on? Anything that you want me to double click and open the box and talk more about it? Any questions on the placements, on the certifications, on the course content, about the kind of commitment that we are expecting from you for the next 3.5 months or 4 months? No questions? I'm sure there are few questions. It is not possible that there are no questions. Okay, fair enough.
So our request is to make sure that you fill in the form, please, so that we can reach out to you back. I mean, based on how you think this demo is all about, or if you wanted to know the details, you can also fill that in the form. We'll give more details as well as needed. My request for all the 10 plus people in this meeting, please try to make sure that you fill the form, please. So we'll give two more minutes for you to fill the form. We'll wait for you, and then we'll still take the questions anyway if you have it. So there is one question for Saha sir. So the question is, what is the procedure to get a Snowflake certification?
Okay. So the process goes like this. First of all, you will have to be very, very attentive in the class. You will have to learn all the modules. There are a lot of mock questions that I will be sharing with you, all of you. You will be asked to solve them. We will validate the results. And once you are comfortable, right? Once you're comfortable, I'm going to introduce you to practice certification tests. There are a few practice certification tests. I'm going to give you them. You will have to lock yourself up in a room for 1 hour and you have to practice them, because learning is something and the art of writing exams is something. So all of you would have, all are graduates over here. So I know all of you have written exams, so you know how exams work. Just knowing is not going to help. You will have to quickly finish it off in that 1 hour. So we are going to gear you up for all that. And finally, you will have to go and register for that certification. Now, the certification costs something around, I think, $175. With GST and everything, it rounds up to close to 16,000-17,000 rupees. At today's currency rate. So that's how you will have to do it. You can book a certification online. However, I strongly suggest not to do it, not to appear for the certification online, because on that very moment, if there is something wrong with your internet, all your money will go for a toss, right? So the way I generally write my certification is book a certification with the nearest certification agency. There are tons of agencies. At least there are 100 plus agencies in Bangalore, 100 plus. I'm sure there will be 200 plus agencies in Hyderabad or any other town. So you should go to those towns. You should write those certifications in person, just to ensure that you have very, very good internet. It is always proctored. There will be somebody invigilating you. You will not be allowed to look here and there. So that 1.5 hours, I think it is 1.5 hours if I'm right. So that's the process to get your certification. And the moment you complete your certification, click end button, and within the next 1 or 2 minutes, you will get to know your passing score. So the passing score is 70%. However, all my students who have taken the certification till now, they have all scored more than 85%, because if you are following the material which I'm going to give you, there's no good reason why you cannot score more than 85%. Bhuvan, I hope I was able to answer your question. Any other questions from anybody? I hope people are parallelly filling up the forms. That is something which is request. It gives us the leverage to get in touch with you after this call and try to understand your point of view about this entire webinar.
Yeah, we got around 3 participants who sent it. So request all others also to fill the form, please. Yeah, I think we have a new question from Tejesh. Tejesh was asking about should we pay for the certification, sir? So yeah, so I think I can take that question as well. Yes. So this is a certification course offered by Snowflake, Tejesh. So this is an industrial certification. Not, I mean, we give a certificate, as part of the training, of the end-to-end courses. But what we're talking about is a specific certification done by Snowflake. Yes, that should be paid. But one thing what we can actually help is, there will be some discount happens. So which Saha sir can actually help you better. Saha sir, can you actually tell about, when you attend the events, you get discounts. Can you actually help other students on how we get it?
Absolutely. So it's not a guaranteed mechanism of getting discount coupons. However, if you are little vigilant on the Snowflake events website, if you go to snowflake.com/events, there are multiple online events that Snowflake keeps doing throughout the year. There are Data for Breakfast, there are sessions like Data Cloud World Tour, there are, build sessions, there are accent sessions. So lot of sessions that Snowflake online sessions, not in-person sessions. They're free. You can register online and you can go to those sessions for free. Now, in those sessions, they teach you Snowflake, very basics, very, very basic Snowflake. They'll teach you for 1 or 1.5 hours. So you can understand the level of the level of the course, the level of knowledge that you will get in that 1.5 hours. Very basics of Snowflake they'll teach you, and they'll give you some labs. If you finish those labs, then what happens is they give you 50% discount vouchers. Sometimes they give you free discount, free certification vouchers as well. Now that is something. Whenever few events come up, I will inform the class that there are few events coming up in next 15-20 days. You guys go ahead and attend those classes, attend those sessions, and at the end you may or may not get. So I've seen that generally people get it. In my experience for the last 2 to 3 years of conducting trainings, few people get it, few people do not get it. It's a luck, but if you are little diligent and attending all these online events, there's a high chance that you will get those, because they give away. There's a lot of giveaway sessions, and especially during the Christmas season, they give away these vouchers a lot, right? So if you grab one of them, you will. So first thing is you will have to be prepared by then, because these discount vouchers are not valid forever. They're valid for maybe the next 30 days. So you should be ready enough to utilize those discount vouchers. And in the most unfortunate situation, if you do not get any of the discount vouchers, you will have to pay from your pocket. But let me tell you, this is worth investing. This is more than investing in your stocks and mutual fund, I can tell you, because this certification is valid for I think 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. It's valid for 2 years, and this is like a lottery ticket. You will be flooded with interview calls. I can guarantee, once you put Snowpro course certified in your resume. Tejesh, I hope I have answered your question. Any other questions from anybody?
And an addition is that, if you're joining Test Perform, that company is going to bear 50% of the cost. So you do well and, get the certification, and then you get interviewed at Test Perform. And if you are going to clear, they're going to reimburse it in the first month of pay. So that was something which was only with this course. Yeah, this option is not there with our other course of Azure Data Engineering. The best part is we're getting a sponsor for your course as well if you're really successful.
Any other questions from anybody? Thank you, sir. So, what to the certification happens after 2 months? No, it is not 2 months. It is 2 years. You will have to renew it. That is correct. Yes, it is 2 years. I am not really sure because they keep changing the timeline. I'm sure it is definitely for 2 years. I think they extended it to 3 years very, very recently. So minimum of 2 years, maximum up to 3 years, this certification will be valid. Within that certification, if you have to continue, if you have to retain your certification status, then you will have to renew it. Or generally, I ask my students, do not renew the basic certification. This because it's a basic certification. You can go for the advanced certifications. So there are advanced like advanced data engineering, advanced administrator, advanced data science, advanced architect. So while your basic certification is valid, you can go ahead and attain one of the advanced certifications. And again, that advanced certification will be valid for 2 more years. That's how it works. Okay. If we are not having any questions, I just wanted to take a count on the number of feedbacks that people have submitted. Kumar sir, what is the number that we have received till now?
We got around 6 of them. 6 we got it.
Oh, okay. So those of you who have not, I would sincerely request you to go ahead and submit these feedback. It helps us a lot.
So there is also one additional questions to you, sir. One of the question is any prerequisites that should be done to attend this course?
Where is that question?
Yeah, so the question did not come here, but it's seen as
Okay.
part of the
Fair enough.
feedback form.
So I think we have already touched upon it. So let me share back my presentation. If I go back to my presentation once more, these are the prerequisites that they're good to have. Database understanding, cloud computing, Python programming, and SQL, all introductory levels. Even if you would have written a very basic Hello World Python program, that would be enough. However, if you have not, don't worry. You will just have to spend a little more time with me and we can get it working. So as I said, until and unless all these prerequisites are met, we are not going to start with this course content for AWS and Snowflake because there are few weeks that we have allocated in the beginning of the course to go through these prerequisites. Now, if you are matured enough, it will be a revision for you. If you are not matured in these prerequisites, then it will be a learning for you. That's all. If you know these prerequisites, then it becomes very easy. It will be a good revision for you. If not, that's okay. You will learn it. There's one more question. Okay. Okay. No. Fair enough. If not, maybe we are good to wrap up.
Awesome, team. So it was nice connecting with you. But if you have any questions, we'll just wait for one more minute. We're ready, happy to help you out. But in the meantime, please provide the feedback here. So yes or no, it's okay, still okay. I mean, if you're interested or not, but still, please provide the feedback. That's the only ask which we have after this 1 hour of session. And thank you so much, all of you. But we'll wait for one more minute before ending this session anyway. Awesome. I think we're good. I think, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you
very much, sir.
everybody for spending time with us this morning, and hope to see you on the other side. Thank you very much. Very
Thank
okay,
you all.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.